In the world of the modern leftist, the privileged will bow down to the non-privileged, acknowledging their inferior status and offering half their possessions as tribute. But what is privilege anyways, and why won't people like AOC shut up about it? Stay tuned to find out. This video was brought to you by the PhoneMe app. Head to the link in the description to download PhoneMe, and stay tuned to learn about the new features that have been added to the app to help you stay in contact with your favorite creators. Hello everyone, this is My Two Cents. Privilege. We hear the word all the time. White privilege, thin privilege, straight privilege. But what the heck is privilege anyways? Night Shift, do you have an idea?
Unfortunately, for the time being, the term privilege has become what some would call a useless buzzword that people simply use to profane another person that they detest for the supposed criminal action, as it were, of disagreeing with them. People, usually on the left, use privilege and privileged, like the word Nazi, in their description of people because it sounds as if that individual is malfeasant and delinquent for having been labeled that term. However, in truth, it's more slanderous and generalizing than anything else towards people that solely have a differing opinion.
Well, Merriam-Webster dictionary defines privilege as a right or immunity granted as a peculiar benefit, advantage, or favor. In the context that liberals use it, privilege is just another way of trying to trot out Marx's paradigm of the bourgeoisie and proletariat. Way back when, Marx claimed that all history was the story of oppressor versus oppressed. Specifically, that the rich oppressed the poor, and eventually it would lead to the poor revolting and creating the utopia that is communism. Problem was, that didn't happen. Nations that embraced capitalism saw both the rich and the poor getting better off. So the Marxists had to retool their ideology. Now the bourgeoisie and the proletariat have become the privileged and the unprivileged, and our favorite democratic darling recently took the time to explain it to us.
Almost every single person in this country can acknowledge some privilege of some type. You know,
right.
I'm a cisgendered woman. I will never know the trauma of feeling like I'm not born in the right body. Mm-hmm. And that is a privilege that I have, no matter how poor my family was when I was born. But it's really hard for some people to admit.
So, essentially, Miss Ocamio is saying that Marx's oppressor-oppressed paradigm is in fact not quite so cut and dry. Rather than there simply being two classes, there is a spectrum of classes. On the one side, we have white, straight, cisgendered males who have complete and total privilege, and on the other hand, we have minority, queer, transgendered females who have no privilege at all. The more characteristics you share with our white male example, the more privileged you are, and vice versa. This is the whole notion of what's come to be called intersectionality. According to AOC and the rest of the left, people are defined not by their actions as an individual, but only by how privileged or non-privileged they are based on those characteristics that they inherited from their parents. Now, granted, it's at best questionable whether or not sexuality and gender identity have anything to do with genetics, but we'll table that discussion for the moment.
So, Miss Ocamio is relegating herself more and more to the left's philosophy of accusing someone based on their so-called levels of privilege and not who they are as individuals. This is dangerous and counterproductive, as these distinctions will inevitably lead to witch hunts, as we have seen in the past, and even to the reversals of desegregation and the accumulations of civil rights that have been acquired and won by all peoples throughout the last few decades. These ideas are made all the more dangerous when you consider that these distinctions were used as excuses for inquisitions and even class warfare against entire communities of people throughout the ages. Perhaps it would behoove us as a society to discard these separating notions and just be individuals.
In fact, over the past year, we've seen this philosophy of intersectionality playing out more and more prominently thanks to the help of the mainstream media. Think back to the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. The moment Kavanaugh was accused, the media sang out in unison that he was guilty, even after Christine Blasey Ford and Julie Swetnick's claims utterly fell apart. Kavanaugh was a straight, white, cisgendered male, and therefore a benefactor of privilege. And as far as the media was concerned, Since Kavanaugh was privileged, he did not deserve any of the achievements he'd worked so hard to achieve, and it didn't really matter whether he was guilty or not. Taking him down was about sticking it to the privileged class, not about what he did or didn't do. On the other hand, we've recently seen the reverse with the case of Jussie Smollett. Smollett, a black, homosexual, cisgendered male, lacked at least half of the aspects of privilege, and was therefore someone who deserves praise, status, and support, regardless of what he does. Sure, it would help if he were transgendered also, but being minority and homosexual is more than enough to put him at the far end of the non-privileged spectrum, even if he is a millionaire actor living a far better life than the vast majority of his black counterparts in his home city of Chicago. When Smollett's case broke, the media cried out in unison that he had indeed been lynched by racist, homophobic Trump supporters, despite the problems with his story that were immediately apparent. Now, despite the fact that he's been arrested and formally charged with faking a hate crime, most leftists still cry out in support of him. After all, it doesn't really matter what he did or didn't do. What matters is he is non-privileged. And most recently, we even saw the left go after one of its own with Alyssa Milano. When Milano tweeted out, "I'm trans, I'm a person of color, I'm an immigrant, I'm a lesbian, I'm a gay man, I'm disabled, I'm everything," she intended to express her solidarity with all members of these identity groups. However, her fellow leftists still crucified her, seeing as she's a straight white female, and how dare she try and claim that she identifies with people whom she's never shared the struggles of. For those on the left, it doesn't matter if Alyssa Milano is on their side. Ultimately, what matters is she's privileged.
Unfortunately, this is all true. It's as if the left wants to push this as a new criminal standard. If you're too privileged, we'll send you to the gulag, or some such BS. It doesn't matter if you've committed an actual offense, such as murdering, assaulting, or stealing from someone. If you have an overabundance of privilege, then you are the bad guy, plain and simple. Well, at least that's the supposed logic behind that argument. Again, the prospect of witch hunts becomes all the more apparent here, as anyone can accuse you of anything, and if you're deemed to have too much privilege, you are branded as instantaneously guilty. The reversal is also true. If you aren't privileged at all, it won't matter what you did because life got you down or some such nonsense like that.
Of course, it's not hard to see why the left pushes this narrative. So long as people understand that they can improve their lot in life through hard work, there's no reason to give up your freedom to the state. On the other hand, if you believe you're impossibly trapped in a poor lot in life through no fault of your own, why not allow some omnipotent deity like the state to step in and fix the situation on your behalf? So long as there's even one counterexample of a non-privileged individual stepping up and overcoming any obstacles to their success, it proves that it is not in fact the case that people are impossibly trapped by their circumstances.
If you can't rise up and overcome the obstacles in your own life, that is more of a reflection on who you are and not the problems surrounding you. It is true that situations in people's lives do vary, but all people can overcome the circumstances of where they are. At some point, privilege, as you so call it, can no longer take the blame for your own inaction and your problems.
The fact of the matter is that every person is to some degree privileged and to some degree non-privileged. Some people are inherently more athletic than others, and therefore have a greater chance of earning full-ride athletic scholarships to college. On the other hand, even though some lack the talent, there's no law that says they can't compete for such scholarships. Some people have a greater knack for learning mathematics and science, while others have a greater knack for learning literature and art. Everyone is to some degree or another more privileged than someone else, but there will inevitably be a way in which the latter person is more privileged than the former. Life isn't fair. What separates the successful and the unsuccessful is that successful people refuse to sit around feeling sorry for themselves. They find what they're good at and use the talent to make the world a better place. Unsuccessful people wallow in their misery, crying about how life isn't fair, demanding that men with guns come in and stop successful people from making life better for everyone. They'd honestly rather see everyone poor and miserable so long as it allows them to feel better about themselves. Just think about that.
Dude, this was awesome. Thanks for doing this. And yeah, sorry it took me so long to get all these things out.
No problem, man. Thanks for being on. For everyone watching, head to the My 2 Cents Teespring store to buy this awesome new t-shirt, commemorating the amazing collaborations I've done with Night Shift 10,000. And be sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't yet. And that's our 2 cents. So take it for what it's worth. PhoneMe is a smartphone app that provides an easy way to personally interact via phone call or messaging with your favorite social media personalities, service providers, coaches, and even celebrities. By using the app, you can contact any person who uses the service by paying a particular rate per minute of talk or per digital message. Right now, My 2 Cents is available on PhoneMe, and you can send me a message for free right now by using the code 2cents. You're guaranteed to have a response from me within 24 hours of sending the message. In addition, PhoneMe has just upgraded their services to allow content creators to post exclusive content to anyone who follows them on the app, which I'll be doing from this point forward. I receive numerous comments on every video, and even more direct messages through Twitter and other platforms, more than I can possibly respond to, and time I spend responding to your comments is time I'm not spending working on videos or accomplishing other tasks that are necessary to keep my channel running. If you're really interested in communicating with me, but aren't interested in becoming a monthly patron, PhoneMe is an excellent way to do so while also supporting my channel. So download PhoneMe and like My 2 Cents using the link below to receive exclusive content and communicate with yours truly. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications of new uploads. And if you're a fan of my channel, please consider supporting me on Subscribestar, Bitbacker, or Patreon. For as low as $1 a month, you'll receive access to patron-exclusive videos, earn the right to participate in patrons-only live streams, join my patrons group chat on Twitter and Discord, and numerous other rewards. Also, be sure to subscribe to my gaming channel for a chance to hang out and chat during gaming streams. Uploads are every Thursday and Saturday, so stay tuned for more videos.